Hello and welcome to Braintree High School as we get ready for varsity softball. Mike Wasser bringing the coverage, and the opening pitch is slapped towards the pitcher, and the first hitter will reach on the first pitch of the game. Braintree and Milton here today at Braintree High School, and the opening hit by Studerman, the right fielder, slaps at the first pitch and very weakly hit in front of the plate, but obviously very difficult in softball to make a play like that as the runner will go. Here's the throw to second. It's going to be in time, but the throw off the glove of the shortstop covering as McPhee was not able to make the tag. That was a nice throw behind the plate. Would have had the base runner. So a leadoff single and a stolen base all in 2 pitches. And now another bunt in front of the plate. It's going to be a sacrifice that brings the runner to third. And Milton now with the base runner at third base and just 1 out as they look for the game's first run here in the first inning. So Mulaney laying down the bunt, playing at first base. This will bring up the catcher Lynch. And the pitch is in there for strike 1 from Braintree's starting pitcher McNamee. Braintree with a couple of lineup changes as time is called at the dish. An injury at shortstop for Woods, and that brings a couple of changes on the infield for Braintree as well as in the outfield. Not sure what the reason is for the delay here. So 0-1 the count, and a slap ball through the right side of the infield as the game's first run will score on the RBI hit by Lynch. And very early swing at the count is Milton, who scores the game's first run here in the top half of the first. Pitch is outside from McNamee. Here in the top half of the first inning with the runner at first, 1 out. And it brings up the starting pitcher, Lynch, for Milton. The Wildcats against the Wamps here today at Braintree High School as the pitch is a little bit high. And Braintree now falling behind in the count. That's a strike. Braintree again playing from behind. That's been something that has been plaguing them the last few weeks now. Has been playing with the deficit. And obviously very difficult to always play from behind. It's nice to play with the lead and force the other team to maybe swing at some pitches they don't want to, but Braintree playing from behind again here today as the pitch is just outside, and that will be a walk. So the first 3 out of the first 4 have been aboard. And Braintree in a little bit of a situation here with 2 on and just the 1 out. And we might see a pinch runner here at first base for the pitcher. And we are going to see a pinch runner over at first base. This is going to be Studerman off the bench to run with 2 on and 1 out. As McNamee delivers, and again missing outside. Trying to work that outside part of the plate, but just off the plate the last couple pitches. Lefty ready, winds, and a swing and a miss on a nice pitch down and away. Good off-speed pitch to Boylan, who plays second base for Milton. Braintree in desperate need of an out here as the pitch is cut on and missed. Be a good time for a strikeout for McNamee, who's ahead in the count now, 1-2. Give the Braintree defensive alignment after this out. And that is in for strike 3. So the first strikeout of the outing came at a good time, as the Braintree defense It'll be Stenman in left field with Littlewood in center and McPhee in right field. As the pitch on the way, and that's cut on and missed on a pitch right down the heart of the plate. Across the diamond, it's Stanley at third base with McPhee at shortstop, Diuti at second base, and Curran at first base. As both base runners take off, and they have him caught in between the bases and out by a mile at third base. Not a good base running play there by King, who was thrown out by at least 10 feet, and that'll do it here in the first inning. But Braintree surrenders the game's first run here in the top half of the first, and the Bats will get a chance down by 1. We'll be right back. First pitch to the bottom of the first is in for strike 1 to McPhee. McPhee, Surratt, and Diuti, 1, 2, 3 in the Braintree order here in the inning, as this one's slapped back and out of play. So Braintree surrendering a run in the top half of the inning, but a caught stealing ending the frame. Helping out McNamee on the mound. And a ground ball knocked foul. 2 hits allowed in the first, a walk, strikeout. Milton at the top of the order, laying down some bunts, causing some issues for the Braintree infield. As this one is hit towards second base, and the wind playing with it a little bit, and will be caught in the air by the second baseman, Boylan. As the outfield goes this way, Giovannucci in left field, with Glenn in center field, and Studerman in right. And across the infield, DiMaggio at third base with McNutty at shortstop as the pitch is inside. Boylan at second and Mulaney at first base, and the catcher is Lynch. For the starter, Lynch, I assume sisters, as this one is back towards the mound. The pitcher will field and throw to first, and 2 very quick outs. McPhee and Surratt both retired. So let's bring up Diuti, trying to get something started here with 2 outs. And the pitch, and that's in for a strike. Right-hander is ready, and it's slapped back to the screen by Diuti, who was right on that pitch. As Lynch continuing to throw a lot of strikes here in the bottom half of this first inning with some velocity on it. Braintree's got to be ready to swing early in the counts. As this one's back to the mound and mishandled by the pitcher, and Braintree's first base runner will reach on the fielding error. That was hit pretty hard back to the mound, but probably one Lynch would like to make it a play on next time. Down as an error in the scorebook, but nonetheless, Braintree has a base runner here with 2 outs. We'll see if they get Diuti in action here in the motion with 2 outs. Here for McNamee, the Braintree pitcher, and this one slapped out of play. And the pitch, and this one hit hard to the outfield. That's going to get down and all the way to the wall as the base runner heads to third and past third all the way home on the RBI double by McNamee. And that one right into the gap, and that brings the base runner all the way around to tie the score at 1. So Braintree taking full advantage of the error. Both sides scoring here in the first inning. And a brief delay here as the wind continues to whip around here. It's been really windy the last handful of weeks. This whole spring season really haven't got much of a break in the department of the wind, and obviously in a sport like baseball or softball, the wind definitely factors in, especially on the fly balls in the air, as the pitch is upstairs. So we'll see if Stanley can get something going here. Braintree with an opportunity to go ahead here in this game. 2 outs, the runner at second, and the pitch is upstairs. Pitch on the way, and that one is up in the zone. Stanley now sits in the driver's seat. Here with 2 outs and a 3-0 count to work with. And that's in there for a strike as the at-bat will continue. It's probably a good time to take a swing if you want. If you are Stanley, it's going to be probably a good pitch from the pitcher Lynch, but it's probably not one you want to swing out on a 3-1. That ended up being more inside than you would have liked. The umpire gives it a strike call as Lynch has battled back now to make it a full count. As the right-hander is ready, and this time it stays upstairs, and drawing a walk now is Stanley. So Braintree has had 3 base runners, 1 on an error, an RBI double, and now a walk. So 3 consecutive have reached after the first 2 were retired quickly. And a big swing and a miss from Littlewood. Braintree center fielder. Ground ball, this one to the second baseman, who would take the underhanded flip and get it there in time, and Braintree's inning comes to an end. But the Wamps do score a run to tie the score. After 1, it's 1-1. 1-1 game here in the top half of the second inning, as this one is knocked up the middle and into center field, as the base runner will reach here to begin the inning. And both sides have had some pretty good hits early in this game. So Giovannucci, who was batting when the base runner got caught stealing to end the inning, comes up with a base hit to begin the inning. And now the third baseman, DiMaggio, will bat. We'll see if they sacrifice. They did back in the first. No sign of a sacrifice here. So McNamee will try and battle here in this inning, putting the leadoff runner on. And this one gets away momentarily. I'm surprised the base runner was not able to advance there. Lefty is ready, winds and fires, and that's a called strike on the outside corner. So trying to battle all the way back here in the count. And the pitch, and miss low. And a frustrating start here to the inning, as the first 2 base runners have reached. So a single and a walk here to begin the top half of the second, after Braintree tied the score at 1. Milton with an opportunity here to go ahead again. As this one is flared into the outfield, and that's going to get down as everybody will advance. So a bloop single, and the bases are all of a sudden loaded here in the second inning, as that's in for a strike. McNulty, the shortstop, batting in the 9th spot in the order. And the pitch is down low. So the Braintree defense trying to help out Their pitcher has been hit hard here the first couple innings. And this one popped up. Braintree really needs this out here, and they're able to get it in foul territory. A big play made by Curran in the foul grounds to make the first out, and that was a big, big out with the bases full. And that's what you need to do. You need to make some big plays with the bases juiced. As we go to the top of the order again. For Struderman, who had a bunt single and now cut on and missed. And I guess you could try that again here, but it would be a force out at any base, especially at home. 2 strikes now, and McNamee with a ground ball hit to first, which is foul. Had a little pop-up in foul territory to the last hitter after the bases were loaded with nobody out. This would be a good time for a strikeout, or second of the outing. And the runner, or the base hitter, actually went after that. The batter going after the pitch outside the zone, and a swinging strike for strike 3. And just like that, there's 2 outs here in the inning. So let's see if McNamee can somehow find a way out of this bases loaded situation. Here is Mullaney, who takes a strike. And this is the time now, if you are a pitcher, to keep pounding that zone. Nowhere to put the base runner. As the pitch is down in the dirt, nice stop behind the plate. As the count evens at 1-1, as the bases are full now with 2 outs. And that's in for strike 2. So Braintree a pitch away maybe from getting out of this inning without allowing anything. And the lefty's ready, and a ground ball back in front of the plate, and the play to first is gonna get away as a couple of base runners score on the play. I was waiting to see what the call was, and then the ball obviously glanced off the glove. And Braintree with an unfortunate sequence there, as that ball was not hit hard at all. And I actually thought, I wonder if the easier play would have been to flip that to home plate for the force out at home, but McNamee decided to spin around and throw to first, which is a much more difficult play. And now Braintree trails again, this time by 2 runs. It's 3-1. As the base runner takes off, the play to the plate, and again for the second straight inning, Milton runs into an out to end the inning. Not really sure what was going on there, as they are caught again by at least 3 or 4 feet in front of the plate as the tag is applied, but Braintree again with a costly mistake at the end of the inning right before that final out. A drop ball at first base and 2 more runs score. It's 3-1 as Milton leads as we head to the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, and the first pitch is down low for ball 1. As Braintree now has surrendered runs in the first 2 innings. 1 in the first, 2 so far here in this second inning. It's 3-1. Braintree bats 7, 8, 9 in the Braintree order. Trying to battle back from a 2-run hole. One hit hard and into center field. So Curran will get aboard here to begin the bottom of the second. So Braintree starting off the second with the base runner. And the pitch, and a bunt try as this one knocked foul by Westerfield. And the pitch is hit hard and out of play. No one had a lot of the plate with 2 strikes. Braintree trying to battle back from a 2-run deficit here in the second inning, and that pitch well upstairs as the throw down to first, not in time. Pitch on the way again is upstairs. And the pitch is in there for strike 3 on the inner part of the plate, and Braintree's first strikeout. This brings up the Braintree shortstop, McPhee. And she's thinking about a bunt, and the bunt is in foul territory. Both sides have tried bunting at portions of this game. I know we're only here in the second, but both sides have tried to get base runners on. And the pitch is upstairs. Another pitch upstairs. 2-1 is the count. Braintree trailing 3-1 here in the bottom of the second inning. Pitch in for a strike. Both pitchers working very quickly when they hit the ball. And that's in for strike 3 again. So back-to-back Ks, both looking. Braintree's got to start swinging the bat. Down with 2 strikes. And that had plenty of the plate too, so that was one that McPhee next time around will try and go after. As this first pitch is slapped off the glove of the pitcher, the throw to first is in time as McPhee retired at the top of the order, and Braintree does not score in the second as we head to the third with the Wamps down 3-1. Top of the third, first pitch, and this one hammered to third base, and that is a fair ball as it gets down in towards the corner, and a double to lead things off. Second hit of the game for King, who aggressively hacks at that first pitch. So an RBI single the first time, this time a double. And again, 2 straight innings where Milton has run into an out to end an inning. As this one is blasted foul. So base runner at second as the pitch down in the dirt. Base runner will not advance. And I wouldn't be surprised now if Milton is second guessing a couple other times, trying to take off, get an extra base after twice already here in this game, running into an out on the bases. But another base runner is on here in this inning, as that's cut on and missed on a pitch that McNamee was able to get by the hitter, who's also the pitcher on the other side. So pitcher versus pitcher here. McNamee winds and fires, and this one is a half-hearted swing down the right field line, but a foul ball. Trying to fool the hitter, but some contact on that one. McNamee winds and fires, and that just missed off the plate. So the at-bat will continue. And again, another heavy hit that goes back and out of play. Pitcher winds, and this one down in the dirt, and the count has now filled up as Lynch has had a big at bat here, fouling off a couple of pitches, but Braintree not looking to lose this battle here. Pitch on the way, and they do. Another walk surrendered. Second time that Lynch has drawn a walk from the cleanup spot. And now the third walk of the outing for McNamee. As Braintree again in another spot with 2 on. First 2 have reached. They just can't keep the base runners off the bases. And a ground ball hit towards third base. The play is across to first. It's in time. So Boylan is retired, but Braintree was not able to get either the lead or the middle runner. So both base runners do advance. Now to second and third with just the 1 out. As the Wildcats look for more here in this 3rd inning. They've scored in each of the first 2 so far. And a great opportunity to get another run or 2 here in this 3rd inning. The hitter trying to bunt there, but taking the bat back and taking a ball. And the pitch, and that's a strike. So Giovannucci, who had a single the first time. Braintree expecting another bunt here, as that's cut on and missed, and now with 2 strikes, I think the defense can safely back up. So a leadoff double and then a walk. Braintree with a ground out, and that's where we stand here with 2 strikes. Just missed as Surratt tries to frame for McNamee, but would not get the call from the home plate umpire. 2-2 the count. And the rise ball is upstairs. McNamee in danger now of walking another one as the count fills. And the pitch, and this one spoiled off and out of play. Big spot here for the Braintree pitcher McNamee, who's in some trouble here in this 3rd inning with 2 more on in scoring position, and Braintree down by 2. And the pitch, and this one up the middle, and that'll bring home both runs. As the 2 strike hit brings home 2. Making it a 5-1 advantage for Milton, and nobody warming at all for Braintree. Walks have been a big problem here in this game for Braintree. Again, 3 walks. Braintree has made an error in the field as well, but the walks have hurt here in this game. I believe all 3 have come around to score, and it's now a 5-1 lead for the visitors, as we see some attention being given to the mask of the Braintree catcher. I don't know if she has a backup mask or not, but some attention being needed, as we will take a quick break in the action. Play ready to resume. And the pitch, and off the plate. We have seen pretty much 2 pitchers here this year, at least in home games. McNamee and Diuti have been the 2 pitchers that we have seen from Braintree. And Diuti right now playing at second base, again with an injury on the infield. Braintree's had to make some changes accordingly, as that is a called strike on a pitch that was very low. So 5-1 is the score. Milton with the lead here in the top half of the 3rd. And the pitch, and another pitch down low. 3-1 the count. To the hitter, DiMaggio. And this one hit hard and into center field, and another base runner will be on. lot of hard hit balls in this game by Milton, who have opened up a 5-1 advantage. This is a 5-3 Milton team. And they're looking pretty good early in this game, as that pitch is in there for a strike. Braintree does have just one out, but again, 2 more on. Trailing 5-3. This one hit weakly in front of the plate. That is a foul ball by the hitter Glenn, who plays center field. It's the 8th hitter in the order. And Glenn actually had a single last time, so can't always expect the bottom of the order to get out if you're Braintree. As this one is grounded to the right side of the infield off the glove, as Braintree with an error here. And the inning will continue with the bases loaded and just the 1 out. So Braintree's second now, miscued defensively. That wasn't an easy play for the second baseman, who had to cover a lot of ground. Would have been an easier ball for the first baseman to handle, but was playing so far in. As the bases are loaded for the second straight inning. And the pitch is popped up on the infield. That should be an infield fly. And it doesn't matter anyway, Braintree makes the catch, and that is the second out. So a big second out as McNulty pops up to second on the first pitch of the at-bat. And now to the top of the order for Studerman, who struck out last time, had a bunt single in the first inning. So third at-bat already here of the game, as that's in for a strike, and Braintree now an out away from getting out of this inning. But they have allowed runs in each of the first 3 innings. And that's cut on and missed, and a good pitch, able to get it by her. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 so far here in the third. Braintree trails 5-1, and an 0-2 count with 2 outs, and the bases filled with Milton base runners, as this one spoiled off and out of play. And Braintree, they want to have an opportunity here to come back in this game, down by 4, really need to hold them here. The offense has scored 1 run. They've had some opportunities, just haven't been able to push them across, other than that first inning, as that one is spoiled off at the plate. Braintree will have their 2, 3, 4 hitters in the bottom half of this inning, so that's certainly a positive for the Wamps. Two strikes, and the ball is grounded out to first, but foul. That ball was well upstairs, and a pitch that I'm surprised the hitter was able to make contact with. That one well outside the strike zone, but hitter going after it and able to just knock it foul. Pitch on the way, and again going upstairs, and this one is well outside the zone. 2 strikeouts for McNamee in the outing. Would really like another one. And the pitch, and that one off the end of the bat, knocked foul. So the at-bat continues. Extra pitches being thrown, and let's see what Braintree can do. Pitch from McNamee, and able to get her on a pitch again, rising upstairs, and that'll do it in the inning. But again, Milton scoring 2 more times, and Braintree trailing by their largest deficit, 4 runs, 5-1, as we head to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third inning, and the first pitch is in for strike 1 to Surratt. So Surratt, Diuti, and McNamee, the Braintree 2, 3, 4 hitters here in the bottom of the third, down by 4 runs. As Braintree looks to battle back in this game, as this one's flared to first, and that's going to get down in foul territory. So 2 strikes now on the Braintree catcher. And that's in for strike 3, and Braintree now with their 3rd strikeout and 4 hitters. Lynch seemed to have found a groove here as the first pitch is popped up and out of play by the hitter Diuti, who reached on an error. back in the first inning. Came around to score Braintree's only run. Lynch continuing to throw a lot of strikes. As that one cut on and missed. Braintree's drawn just one walk in this game. They have reached on an error, which was Diuti who did in the first. 2 strikes on the hitter. And Lynch winds and fires. This one popped up. Catcher with the look, but that's going to be out of play. Back over the backstop. Pitcher ready, winds and fires, and another ball spoiled back and out of play. Another pitch rising upstairs, and both sides have gone after a lot of pitches up in the zone. Braintree down 5-1 as this one popped up as the catcher again looked at it, and again it's out of play. So a lot of contact, but nothing really hit all that far, so everything's going right behind the plate. And Lynch continuing to try and get the hitter to swing at pitches upstairs, which Braintree's doing. Not able to hold off to this point. And this one's well outside the zone. Just the first ball of the at-bat. This one nearly hitting the batter as Diuti had to duck out of the way. And this one slapped to second base as the unhanded flip is there in time. And there's 2 quick outs here in the inning. Brings up McNamee, who's responsible for the only Braintree run, an RBI double back in the first inning. So Wildcats an out away from getting out of this third inning. Braintree after the first pitch, and McNamee out to the outfield, and a lunging catch to end the inning. Obviously not needing necessarily to make that sliding play, but I think going down into a lunge was maybe tripping up a little bit there as the catch is made to end the inning as Milton gets Braintree 1-2-3 here in the third, and the Wamps trail by 4. And we'll see if we have a pitching change. We did see some action for Braintree in between innings. It's 5-1 as we head to the fourth. Play resuming here in the top half of the fourth inning. Thank you for joining here on the live stream broadcast of varsity softball, Braintree and Milton. Mike Wassel bringing the coverage here in a 5-1 game as the first pitch is slapped back, foul. So Braintree has gone to the bullpen, which is what I had anticipated maybe happening, as 5 runs were scored by Milton through the first 3 innings. Diuti now trying to tame those bats here in the inning as the pitch is low. Pitch on the way, and that's in there for another strike. So 2, 3, 4 hitters for Milton here in the inning. As Doty winds and fires, and that one knocked foul. Braintree looking for that first out here of the fourth inning. And the pitch is down for a ball. Two and two the count to the first baseman, Mullaney. As Doty is a little bit low. Maybe if the catcher caught that cleanly, that's a called strike, but once it was dropped, I think the umpire didn't have a clean look at it. Not necessarily that should be the reason why it's not called a strike, but that does happen quite often. As the pitch on the way, that is in there, strike 3, and this time getting the call on a pretty similar location on a pitch at the lower half of the zone, and the first out coming on a strikeout. So now brings up the catcher Lynch, who's 2 for 2 and has hit the ball hard twice, a single and a double. Last time driving it down the third baseline. First pitch here from Diuti, and that's right there, and a strike. Beautiful pitch from Diuti, who's coming in trying to throw lots of strikes. It's really what you need to do and make the other team make the mistake, whether they go and chase pitches outside the zone, as this one's hit hard a mile high in the air. As the ball is caught in center field. And Littlewood with the shades is able to make the catch, and 2 quick outs here in the 4th inning. And a ground ball through the right side of the infield as this one gets through, and a base hit for Lynch, who has been on base every time. 2 walks and now a single. And she's been pinch run for twice, and now will be again for a 3rd time. So Braintree was hoping for a 1-2-3 inning for the first time in this game, not getting it though. And now Milton keeps the inning going here in the 4th with a 2-out single. And a ground ball knocked foul by the 5-hitter Boylan, who has grounded out to 3rd and struck out. 0 for 2 here in the ball game. Pitch on the way, and this one hit hard out towards the outfield. And that one's going to glance off of the right fielder's glove as the base runner will come around to score. And a Braintree error here allows a 6th run to score on a ball that was hit hard. It looked like that was going to potentially carry over the right fielder's head, but McPhee did get back there in time and unfortunately was not able to make the catch on a ball that hit her glove and popped free. And Braintree now trailing 6-1 as they continue to not be able to get out of an inning without allowing a run. As Braintree has now made another error. That is their 3rd error made defensively, and that's really changed this game. Not the only reason why they're down 6-1 in this game, but those really hurt, especially to keep an inning going. And now the base runner is at 3rd base, Boylan. And all this started with 2 outs too, which is the more frustrating part, I think, if you're head coach Jenkins, and trailing 6-1 against Milton, who have gotten pretty good pitching from Lynch on the other side through the first 3 innings. As the pitch is upstairs. Giovannucci, who had a 2-run hit last time, has a base runner at 3rd with 2 outs. Diuti with 1 strikeout since coming into the game, but an error here has allowed a run to score. And that's in there again for strike 3. 2 Ks in the inning. Really pretty well pitched inning by Diuti, but not helped out defensively in this game has been the Braintree pitching as they trail 6-1 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Braintree again surrendering another run. The top half of this inning. One in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the 4th. As McNamee will hit here to begin the inning. I make it Stanley, excuse me. 5, 6, 7 in the Braintree order. As this one is hit foul. Stanley drew a walk in her only plate appearance. That came back in the first inning. So it's 5, 6, and 7 in the Braintree order. Down now 6-1. As Braintree continues to play from behind seems like every game here at home. Lynch battles here when a 2-2 count. And this one again popped up. First baseman ranging and can't make the play. Three strikeouts for Lynch, and they've come in the last 5 hitters. It's a base runner trying to get aboard here for Braintree here to begin the bottom half of the 4th. And the pitch is upstairs, and a good at bat here as it continues. Again, Stanley drew a walk in our only plate appearance, so seeing lots of pitches, which is a good sign as a hitter. Lynch ready, and that's right down the heart of the plate. Not a good pitch to take there for Stanley, who's down on strikes. Brings up Littlewood, who's down the count 0-1. Grounded out to second base for only plate appearance of the game. A pitch from Lynch, and that's outside. And a ground ball back to the mound off the catcher's glove and into center field as Littlewood is aboard for the first time in the game on a base hit. So Braintree with the base runner. Brings up Curran, who also had a single last time. So we'll see if Braintree can string some hits together here down the bottom of the order. Pitch on the way, and that one is upstairs, no swing from Curran. Braintree first baseman here today, who has a single in her only plate appearance so far today. Trying to do something here in the 4th inning as the pitch is low. So 2-0 the count, and Braintree trying to get a couple base runners on. Here trailing by 5, the bottom of the 4th inning. Milton brings the third baseman in, and that pitch is a called strike. The throw down to first base not in time. We've seen Lynch behind the plate throw down to first base a couple times. And the pitch again is upstairs, and Braintree in business here with a 3-1 count. So we'll see if Braintree does have the green light. They're down 5 runs. It's 3-1 for Curran, who did get on last time, but I think you need base runners, and she takes the pitch inside, spinning back, and Braintree with 2 on. Really need something here with the game in the bottom of the 4th inning, down by 5. Take advantage of some of these walks. Bringing up Westerfield. And that is a called strike. So Littlewood over at second base, who singled off the pitcher's glove, and then Curran, who just drew the walk. And a hard hit ball to left field, but this one will be playable, and it's caught in left field. That one seemed like it got knocked down by the wind. That one was hit pretty hard off the bat. So it'll take something here from McPhee for the inning to continue, with Braintree with 2 on and 2 out. Struck out looking back in the 2nd inning, and Braintree now in desperate need of a 2-out hit, as the pitch is a called strike. pitch is low, and this one gets away. Both base runners will advance. So Braintree with base runners now at second and third. A hit here would bring home 2. Big spot here for McPhee. And a ground ball, middle of the infield and through. And 2 runs might score here as the base runner not scoring from second. Braintree now will take the try at the plate. Here's the throw, it's not in time. And Braintree with a gift run here from third base on the throwing error. So I would have assumed that with a base hit there, Braintree would have been able to score 2 runs, but only the one scored originally, but then the throw got away. And 2 runs coming across for Braintree to cut the lead to 6-3. So a brand new game as Braintree gets that timely hit they were looking for. And now we'll see if Sister McPhee can come up with a hit as well. It's Jacqueline McPhee hitting at the top of the order, has grounded out to the mound and popped up. So 0 for 2, due for something here with the base runner at second. 2 outs in a 6-3 game as Braintree takes the pitch inside, and Lynch wanted the call. That looked like a pretty good pitch. A little stare in there for the home plate umpire. And now I think it's a question of what the count is here, which is, I'm assuming, what the umpires are discussing. So the at-bat continuing. .3 game, Braintree down by 3 runs. As Braintree's battled back from a 5-run deficit to make it 3 runs to this point. They still have a base runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and that's a strike pounded in. As Braintree looks for another timely hit. And this one knocked foul. So the Braintree bottom part of the order getting something started, scoring 2 of the Braintree runs. And now it's a brand new game. As this one hit hard out to center field, and it will be caught on a line drive, which would have taken away another run, but a nice play defensively by the center fielder who makes the catch, and Braintree does push across 2 runs. Big error back last inning for Braintree that made it a instead of it being a 5-3 game, it's now a 6-3 game as we head to the 5th. Top of the 5th inning here at Braintree High School, 6-3 lead for Milton here on the road. But Braintree's battled back, scoring twice in the bottom half of the 4th. See if they can put up a quick inning here. Diuti had a decent inning in the 4th. Unfortunately, an error allowed a run to score unearned. 7-8-9 for Milton here in the 5th inning. And the pitch, and that one's low for DiMaggio, who has reached on a walk and has singled, so has been aboard twice. The right-hander winds and fires, and this one knocked foul. Pitch on the way, and a ground ball hit towards third base. Stanley with the play. The throw is high, and it gets away. And the base runner will get on base as Braintree with another defensive mistake. That is error number 4 against the Braintree defense, and that has been very costly here today. You wonder how much the wind factors in on some of these plays, but this is just not what we're used to seeing from the Braintree defense. They've been pretty good most of this year, so this is a little bit surprising. Although again, Braintree has dealt with a couple injuries from their normal players. This is one right back to Stanley. The throw to second, and the tag is applied, although it was a force out as the play is made. And a nice out there for Braintree on the force out. So good bounce back from Stanley, who made the error on the throw. Able to get a chance on the next pitch. As we're down to the number 9 hitter, McNulty, who has popped up twice, once to first base, once to second base. Braintree has brought Malcolm in, who is playing second base. That was part of the switch when Diuti came in to pitch. Another ground ball, this one to shortstop, the play to second, and the underhanded flip is not in time. And Braintree had the right idea, but unfortunately the base runner was speedy, and Braintree really needed to throw that one instead of underhanded flip. So the base runner will reach. Also wonder if the base runner did take off a little early there for Milton, because she got there very quickly. I don't know how she could have got there that quickly on contact when you cannot leave until the pitch is thrown. Pitch on the way, and that is a strike. So the top of the order for Studerman, who has struck out the last 2 times after a bunt single to begin the game, as there are 2 base runners on, just the 1 out here in the inning. As this one's grounded to first, a nice play made, and there's 2 outs. Braintree gets that second out. Second and third here in the top of the 5th. Braintree really needing to get out of this inning without any further damage. They're trailed by 3 runs, which is already a decent size deficit to overcome, as this one is hit towards shortstop, and it's mishandled, as the throw to the plate is going to be in time, but a run does score. And Braintree does now trail 7-3, and Milton again getting a gift run, as Braintree with a mistake made initially, but then the throw to the plate does get there in time. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, a 7-3 lead for Milton. Bottom of the 5th, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. And this one hit hard out to the outfield. It's going to be dropped down as a flaring single for Surrett. So Braintree's leadoff hitter is on in front of Diuti. So errors have really been a killer more often than not. They are in a game, but here today, more specifically, that's a couple times that Braintree's dropped a ball that have given runs to Milton, and obviously in a 4-run game, you think about a couple of those mistakes don't happen. Braintree's down maybe 1 or 2 runs in this game. Instead, they're down 4. So those mistakes obviously magnified, but Braintree continuing to play hard. They put a leadoff runner on. They're not going away quietly, but it's very tough to keep giving up runs. It obviously is frustrating for the pitcher, who has given up an unearned run for 2 consecutive innings. As the ground ball hit to second base, the throw to second for 1, the throw back to first will not be in time. You almost never see a double play ball in softball. At least not the conventional one that you would think of. So ground out is the first out. And the pitch, and this one laced into the outfield. Nice hit as it glances off the outfielder's glove, but that wasn't the reason the base runner gets to second. So a nice hard hit ball by McNamee, who's now on for the second time. A double and an RBI the first time, and this time a single. So Braintree again in business here in the bottom half of the fifth. They continue to try and play from behind, down by 4 runs. As that pitch in for a strike to Stanley, who has walked and struck out looking. Braintree scoring a couple times here maybe would make this interesting, as Stanley pops this one up and out of play. That was something she did a handful of times in an earlier at bat, spoiling the ball off a couple times. Lynch gets ready, back to the rubber. And the pitch, and gets it by the hitter Stanley, and strikes her out for the second time here in the game, as Braintree now with 2 outs. So the Wamps down by 4 runs, as the ball down in the dirt, no advance for either base runner. And it'll take something here from Littlewood, who singled last time. Has also grounded out to second. 1 for 2 in the game. As Braintree trails 7-3 here in the bottom of the fifth. A generous strike called on the outer part of the plate. On the way, and this one down in the dirt, and now both base runners will advance. So a base hit here for Braintree could push across 2 and could pull Braintree within 2. And the pitch on the way to Littlewood, and no swing on a pitch upstairs. If the inning continues, Curran would bat next. And the pitch, that is in for a strike. So the count now fills up. Lynch getting ready. Winds and fires, and Littlewood ground ball to shortstop. It's mishandled. Momentarily, the throw is still there in time, and Braintree cannot get there in time to run that one out. And the out is recorded at first base as Braintree strands 2 big base runners here in the 5th inning, and the Wamps trail by 4, 7-3 as we head to the 6th. Top half of the 6th inning. A 7-3 game. As the pitch on the way, and that is in for strike 1. Tidy back in for another inning of work. And she has allowed 2 runs, 1 in each of the first 2 innings, but both unearned. As Braintree's defense has made 4 errors in this game, a big difference. And right now the outcome to this point, as Braintree trails by 4 runs, both pitchers have pitched pretty well on both sides. This is one hit hard out towards the outfield, and that'll get all the way down to the wall, as the base runner will go down to second and think about third base. Here comes the throw, and a pretty good throw in towards the outfield gets away, as this is going to be a triple to begin the inning for Lynch, who continues to be a thorn in Braintree's side with 3 hits here in this game. And Milton again, hungry for more. And they have yet to retire the pitcher, Lynch, who is now batting. She has walked twice and singled. It's been pinch run for every time. So obviously that's something that Milton has continued to do here in this game, as they look to take an 8-3 advantage here in the 6th inning. So again, Braintree in danger of giving up a run again here in the 6th inning. As the Pitch on the way, and that's a called strike on the outside part of the plate. Lynch didn't like the call, but just gotten a few on the other side from the home plate umpire. It's been a generous strike zone on the outer part for portions of this game, as that pitch is another called strike. As Braintree trying to get an out here. They've had 4 strikeouts to this point as Lynch hammers it through, and again, Braintree surrenders a run here in the 6th inning on a hard hit ball by Lynch, who's on base for the 3rd time. Lynch just hammering that ball through the left side of the infield. And the Wildcats open up their largest lead, tying their largest lead of 8-3. They led 6-1 at one point before Braintree scored twice. And now it's back to a 5-run game at 8-3 here in the top half of the 6th inning with nobody out, and the first 2 have reached. Here for Boylan, who has reached on an error, grounded out and struck out. 0 for 2 here in this game. And the pitch right down the middle for a strike. Ready, winds, and that one off the mitt of the catcher, which will allow the base runner to take second base. And this one hit hard, and that's going to get into the outfield as the base runner will get to third on a little flaring hit off the end of the bat by Boylan. And Braintree just can't catch a break here in the inning. First 3 have reached, scoring 1 run to this point. And obviously an opportunity to really blow this one wide open with the 5-run lead, and now base runners at the corners. And a hard hit ball over to first base as the runner will score from third, and that'll be the first out. So a productive out for Giovannucci, who's now has 3 RBI in the game and makes it a 9-3 game as Braintree gets the first out of this 6th inning. Right down the middle for strike 1. DiMaggio has reached every time so far in this game, once on an error, which was last time, a single and a walk. So the Wildcats really not making it easy for Braintree here today, 1 through 9. Everybody has been aboard here in this game, looking down the lineup. Every single player has reached base at least once, and this one into the outfield, as the base runner will round from second base and score to make it a 10-3 game on a RBI double by DiMaggio. So Milton now in double figures as far as runs scored, say, at 10-3. And they've now opened up a 7-run lead. As the pitch is in there for a called strike to the number 8 hitter Glenn, who has singled, reached on an error, and grounded out to third. Hitting has been a big force here in this inning. Errors haven't played in the 6th inning. Milton's had some hard hit balls, as that is a strike. But Braintree surrendering now 10 runs. It'll be very tough to win many games giving up 10 runs, as they trail 10-3 here in the top half of the 6th inning. As this one's hit foul. Milton on their way to win number 6 on the season. Base runner at second has the pitch on the way, and that's down low. And a ground ball, middle of the infield, that will get through, and the base runner being waved around and will come around and score. And an 11-3 lead now for the Wildcats, who continue to send the runners. So an 8-run lead for the Wildcats. We'll continue to pound the ball here in the 6th inning as the pitch is down low. And this one tailed to the outfield, but right at the center fielder Littlewood, who makes the catch. Braintree finally gets the second out. And now it's to the top of the order for Studerman, with the base runner at first and 2 outs. After a bunt single the first time, has had a tough day at the plate. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. But right now that's meaningless for the Wildcats, who enjoy an 11-3 lead here at Braintree High School in the top half of the 6th inning. In a game that Milton has led from the start, scoring once in the first and then 2 in each of the 2nd and 3rd innings. Is called as Braintree has a meeting at the mound. Base runner at second base with 2 outs. And the pitch, and that is in for a strike. 1-2 on the hitter here in the top of the 6th. Milton has had a big inning offensively and now have a commanding 8-run lead. As the pitch is low, the throw down to third is not in time, and another stolen base. Wildcats just keep running. And the pitch just outside on what looked like a called 3rd strike, but the umpire not giving the benefit of the doubt there. And a swing and a miss by Studerman, who is down for the 3rd time on strikes. But Milton with a big inning. They lead 11-3 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. First pitch here at the bottom of the 6th is inside. As Braintree now down with their largest deficit here today of 8 runs. 11-3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And in danger of dropping another one here at home. As this pitch is high. 7, 8, 9 in the Braintree order, as that's a strike to Curran. Curran has been on base twice, has singled and reached on a walk, as the throw to first base on a ground out to third is the first time she's retired here in the game. And this one is to shortstop, and on one pitch, there's an out. Two up, two down here in the bottom of the sixth, as the Braintree bats have gone ice cold. Bottom of the order for McPhee, who had an RBI hit last time, and that's a strike. So Lynch has the first two here of the sixth inning. Just a couple pitches, 2 ground outs. And the pitch on the way is low. So Lynch in danger of putting on McPhee here. He's trying to keep the inning going for the Wamps, who are down by 8 runs. And McPhee slaps it into the outfield. A 2-out base hit. So second hit for McPhee from the 9th spot in the Braintree order. And the pitch, the base runner goes. The throw down to second will not be in time, and a huge collision over at second, as the shortstop running into the base runner, and the player is hurt, as we will have an injury timeout here as McPhee is down. Inning continuing, McPhee stays in the game after the stolen base. Took a shot up high on the stolen base. Braintree with 2 outs, trying to keep the inning going and push across a run to get a little bit closer as the pitch is high. And a little flaring hit, and that'll drop down, as coming in to score is McPhee. And Braintree with an 11-4 deficit now. So the McPhee sisters with hits here, and now an RBI. So 11-4 now, as it brings up Surratt, who singled last time. As the pitch is right down the plate, here's the throw, and that's not in time. And another stolen base here for Braintree. That was a bang-bang play. Pretty nice throw behind the plate, but the speed of McPhee able to slide in there safely. So Braintree with a couple steals in the inning. And now a base runner at second with 2 outs. An 11-4 game. As this one is grounded hard to third and through into the outfield. As Braintree continues to put some good swings here, and they have now runners at the corners. So the second hit of the game for Surratt, as Braintree has him at the corners here in the bottom of the 6th inning, down by 7 runs. And here comes Daoudi, who's reached on an error and grounded out twice, both to second base. As this one hit hard out to the outfield, but should be playable as it tails, and it ends up dropping down as the base runner now heads to third. The throw is not in time, and Braintree with 2 more in scoring position, and an 11-5 game. Surratt took a little while to get over there to third base, and she should have been going on contact there with 2 outs, but does get there safely at third, and all of a sudden Braintree just down 6 runs. And a hit here could potentially pull him even closer to his closest 4, as Braintree now down 11-5 here in the bottom of the 6th. So consecutive RBI hits, or 2 of the last 3, 1 for McPhee, 1 for Diuti. And Braintree down 11-5 as there was a meeting at the mound by the assistant coach for Milton to talk to her pitcher. Lynch, who has been pretty good in this game, has not been unhittable. Braintree scored 5 runs. I mean, both sides have made mistakes, but most of the runs that Lynch has surrendered have been earned runs. But on the other side, not the same story for Braintree. But you got to give Milton credit. They built themselves a comfortable cushion, and obviously when you're up 8 runs, maybe keep your foot off the gas a little bit, but Braintree has battled back to pull within 6, as McNamee's been one of the better hitters for Braintree here this game, and hits this one down the third base line. That's a fair ball, and 2 more runs will score, as Braintree has scored 2 more runs on the hit by McNamee, who continues to be a very strong hitter in this Braintree order, and one would expect so, being the cleanup hitter. But Braintree now within 4 runs all of a sudden, and those runs that Milton scored back in the top half of this inning really proving to be a force in this game, as they opened up an 8-run lead. Braintree has since scored 4 of those back, and all of a sudden it's 11-7 here in the bottom of the 6th. And Braintree has not missed a swing here in this inning. It looks like we're going to see a pinch runner over at second base for Braintree. And that's going to be Ketty to run over at second base for Braintree in an 11-7 game, as things have gotten tight here for the Wildcats. And Stanley would really like to do something here. First pitch is upstairs, as Braintree has gotten momentum back, but still trailed by 4 runs. But they are battling here in this 6th inning. Been a lot of runs scored. This has been a long inning on both sides, at the top and here in the bottom half of the inning. As the pitch is again upstairs, and you wonder if the pitcher is tiring here. Braintree has had a lot of good swings here in this 6th inning. There's been a lot of pitches that have been up in the zone too, that have been good pitches to hit. As that one was up in the zone again, but no swing from Stanley. And that's a called strike. So 2 strikeouts and a walk in the game to this point for Stanley. Would love to come up with a hit. And that pitch is outside. Littlewood would be up next if it gets there. And the righty winds and fires. Ground ball hit to second and past the dive into center field. And here comes the runner all the way to the plate and will score another Braintree run, as all of a sudden it's 11-8. And Braintree just will not go away here in the 6th inning. They have scored 5 times. They're within 3 runs. And everybody getting some hits here for the Wamps. Took them a little while to get going, but they are cruising now, as this is grounded over to second base and off the glove. And again, Braintree with another base runner on, as the base runner will not score this time, as Littlewood reaches on an error at second base. So Braintree has battled all the way back from down 8 runs. It's a 3-run game. The tying run now at the plate for Curran here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. As the pitch on the way, ground ball middle of the infield and through into center field, as another run scores, and it's 11-9. And Braintree continuing to bring it right back up the middle of the infield. I don't not remember seeing a team battle this quickly and just continually 1 through 9 just pound the ball back up the middle. Everything's been right up the middle. As Braintree is within 2 runs, the tying runs are aboard. And this one is knocked back and out of play by Westerfield, who is 0 for 3 here today. Would love nothing more than to get her first hit here in the 6th inning and maybe bring Braintree within a run. One of the highest scoring games I have seen in a softball game in a while, in a shootout here, 11-9. Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and this is probably the highest inning I've ever seen scored by both sides. Both sides have scored 5 runs in this inning. Basically half the run total in this game have been scored here in the 6th inning. And the pitch on the way, ground ball, middle of the infield again, and through into center field as the base runner comes around. Here comes the throw to the plate, it's not in time, and Braintree makes it 11-10. The throw to third, and the throw is gonna be out at third as the umpire goes down with a falling call, and it looks like he's gonna be okay, but Braintree unfortunately runs themselves out into an out here to end this inning, and really a frustrating end to what was such a great inning offensively, but really not necessarily the time for Braintree to run into an out to end this inning, but they do make it a 1-run game as we head to the 7th. It's 11-10. Top half of the 7th inning in a brand new ball game as Braintree's battle back from an 8-run deficit to make it a 1-run game. 11-10 here in the 7th. And Braintree with such a great inning offensively, but really a heartbreaking play to end the inning as the base runner was thrown out at third. As this one is cut on and missed. And now if you're Braintree, you really need to put up zeros. You have all the momentum on your side. Milton's bats have been so hot, but you really need to give yourselves an opportunity here in this game. This will be one of the better come from behind wins I've seen if Braintree can pull it off. As this one's popped up on the infield, it is Stanley over by the dugout and makes the catch in foul territory. So they'll pop up to third base to begin the inning, as it'll bring up the third number 3 hitter in the order, Lynch, who has been very tough for Braintree to retire, has 3 hits in this game and takes the first pitch in for a strike. Has a single, a double, and I guess if you want to call it a triple, the ball was run after in the outfield and stabbed at, and then extra bases were given there. But nonetheless, 3 hits, and Braintree really trying to get Lynch here for the second out. Braintree trails by 1 run here in the 7th, 11-10, 2 strikes on the hitter. As Diuti works here in the 7th inning. Pitch on the way, and this one grounded to the middle of the infield, and a nice sliding play. The throw will not be made, but a nice play made at shortstop. Thought we were gonna see a highlight type play. And Lynch again finds her way aboard. Braintree just can't catch a break here in this game, it seems, after a great defensive play. And the pitch, and that's right down the middle for strike 1. Defense shading up the middle for Braintree. We've seen a lot of balls hit in that direction. As the pitch on the way, and this one is slashed out of play. So 2 strikes now. Braintree has yet to retire Lynch here. 2 walks, 2 hits, and an RBI. And an 11-10 game. And the pitch, ground ball, again through into the outfield as the base runner tags second and heads back. having to slide back into the base. And again, the Lynches here continuing to kill Braintree. Here in this game, in 10 at-bats, 9 times they have reached. And we're gonna see again that pinch runner for the pitcher. As Braintree with just the 1 out, but 2 on again. Here for Boylan as the Wildcats continue to just press here on offense. As this one's popped up, as the wind plays with this one, and it will be put away by Braintree for the 2nd out. So a big 2nd out on a pop-up to shortstop. As Boylan retired, and now it takes something from Giovannucci, who has a couple hits and a couple RBI in this game. I guess if you think about it, with 21 runs scored, you can imagine that most hitters have RBIs in this game, which would probably be pretty true. Not going to go down the order and look at it right now, but imagine so, that being pretty true. 2 outs in the inning, as this one is off the catcher, and both base runners will advance. So who would have thought that Milton, who had an 8-run lead heading into the bottom half of the 6th, we'd be looking at a 1-run game here in the 7th. But they're battling, looking for more in this inning, as that's cut on and missed, and a good pitch by Diuti. So Diuti now a strike away from getting out of this inning and giving the Braintree Bats an opportunity to come back and maybe win this game. Pitch on the way, and that's cut on and missed, and Diuti able to get out of it without any runs scored, and Braintree with an opportunity here in this game, down a run as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Bottom 7, and Braintree looking to have one of their most dramatic wins of the season as they trail 11-10 heading into this inning, and McPhee jumps over that. Obviously the instinct is to jump over it, but you wonder if McPhee takes that pitch and gets hit by it, gets aboard. That's the tying run, as that one is upstairs. And McPhee has an opportunity for Braintree, and this one is caught by the shortstop on a jumping catch that was looking like it was heading towards the outfield. And actually that was the pinch hitter. That was not McPhee, I do not believe. Actually, wasn't. I have to look down. Yes, it was. Because they had a different hitter hitting in the flex spot. As this one is tapped in foul territory and caught by the catcher. Wow, that is a very rare situation. You do not see that very often, where the ball goes over the catcher's head and is caught in the air. That is very rare to see something like that where it's not that high in the air. So Braintree with 2 very quick outs here in the inning as the pitch is pounded in for a strike. And the pitch, and that's in for a strike. And Braintree now down to their final out. As the pitcher winds and fires, this one hit hard out to the outfield, back it goes, and it's gone! And Braintree ties it at 11 here in the 7th on the solo shot with 2 outs in the inning. And Braintree has battled all the way back. And an 11-11 game here in the 7th. And how could you see this game end with a fitting hit from Surrett, the home run, to tie the game here in the 7th inning? And just when it looked like Braintree was dead in the water, here in the 7th. All it took was one hit. And now Diuti with the chance. And that is why getting a board to start the inning is so important. Not saying it was necessarily the reason, but you do wonder if Braintree was hit by a pitch to start this inning. That was a potential walk-off hit by Surrett, and Lynch, who does provide a lot of power with her pitching. Not that Surrett didn't hit that ball hard, but definitely got a little bit of help from the velocity of that pitch, and that was just a nice solid swing by Surrett. And now Diuti ropes it into the outfield, and a base hit here with 2 outs, and that was a nice play by the outfielder to keep that one from getting by her. So Braintree with an 11-11 game. The tying run had just scored on the home run, and now the winning run is at first. So a chance here for McNamee, who's been Braintree's best hitter in this game, with 3 hits, and this one is slapped towards the first baseman, cannot make the play in foul territory, and the at-bat will continue. And that is a big ball that hits the ground, because if they can get her, you get the chance for your bats and the extra innings, but Braintree still with an extra life. Diuti at first base for McNamee, who has 3 hits in this game for Braintree. And the pitch, and this one hits to the outfield. It's going to be a tough ball to handle. It gets by the outfielder as the base runner heads to third base. Braintree is going to keep the base runner at third, and they're not going to try and win the game there. As Diuti goes from first to third, you would hope in that situation Braintree could have scored on that, but they cannot get the base runner home. So a single for Diuti after a double from McNamee, and now a chance here for Stanley. First pitch is a strike, and Braintree has got to be ready on the bases for anything that potentially gets by the catcher. You win this game any way you can. An 11-11 game here in the bottom of the 7th, and the pitch, and a pop-up on the infield. It is the pitcher coming over and makes the catch, and that ends the inning. But Braintree with a home run to tie the score here as we head to extra innings. Braintree with such a great chance, though, to win it here in the 7th, but cannot score any further runs. But we head to extra innings, tied at 11. Top of the 8th, first pitch is in for strike 1 in a game that you did not expect for it to go this way after Braintree trailed by 8 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. They scored 7 times to make it a 1-run game, and then the tying home run as Braintree with the throw to first, and it's not in time. And Braintree with a tough hop there on the shortstop McPhee. But another Braintree miscue here defensively coming into play here to begin this inning. As Braintree has consistently played from behind in this game. They have not led here in this game, but had a chance to walk off after a tying home run by Surrett. They had 2 on, but just couldn't get that big hit. As this one grounded to second base, the throw is to first, and I'm a little surprised Braintree didn't try and get that lead runner, because remember, that is the go-ahead run standing now at second base, but Braintree does get the out. Certainly happy to get an out there, but I'm surprised Malcolm did not try and throw that to second. Braintree gets the first out here of the inning, and the pitch is in for a strike. Every base running play now is magnified. And a ground ball hit to third base. That's a foul ball, and thankfully for Braintree, as that one got by Stanley. So leadoff error, and now a ground out. Number 9 hitter McNulty, and Milton may get an opportunity for their big hitters to get a chance in this inning, but Braintree hoping to make quick work As the pitch is popped up, and this one is playable but mishandled by the Braintree catcher, Surrett. And we saw Milton make a play behind the plate by their catcher. Braintree not able to do it in return, and we'll see if that proves costly. So McNulty getting another opportunity here from the 9 spot with 2 strikes now. And Diuti would really like to strike her out. Keep that base runner at second. Winds and fires, and this one hit hard to the outfield, and back to make the catch is Littlewood. So Braintree does end up retiring the hitter on a hard hit ball to center field. Braintree center fielder Littlewood making a huge play as this brings up Studerman. You got to remember, she had bunted to begin the game, but has since gotten retired the last 4 times, 3 by way of strikeout. And the pitch, and a swing and a miss. Braintree would have a chance to walk off if they can get the final out here in this 8th inning. Pitch on the way, and that's cut on and missed, and Diuti now a strike away from getting out of the frame. Just needs 1 more strike. Defense has got to be ready here with 2 strikes. Winds and fires, and a pop-up on the infield. And the play is made by Braintree as McPhee puts it away at short, and the Wamps with an opportunity here in the bottom of the 8th to win the game, and what would be one of the best wins in recent memory for Braintree sports if they can come away with this win. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the first pitch is low. So a chance here for Braintree as Littlewood will lead things off. 6, 7, and 8 in the Braintree order. If somebody can get on, you would imagine a sacrifice would be something Braintree would think about. And the pitch is upstairs. The Braintree bats have been smoking hot the last couple innings after really not doing much through the first 5. And a ground ball back towards the mound. And the play, the throw, and it's a snow cone catch made at first base. First baseman nearly almost mishandled that ball. So here comes Curran, who's been on base 3 times. And the pitch, and this one hit hard to the outfield. The center fielder coming over and makes the catch as that one carried pretty deep. Able to make the catch, and Braintree with another hard hit ball. That was very close to having that one head over the head of the outfielder. Number 8 hitter for Braintree with now 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. First pitch is cut on and missed. And that cut on and missed, and very quickly 2 strikes. As this game seemingly does not want to end. 11-11 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And a hard hit ball towards the outfield, and that's going to drop down. A base hit here with 2 outs, and Braintree has the winning run on base at first. So Braintree's first hit from Westerfield here in this game. And now McPhee. And the pitch, and that's a strike. You'd really like to have an opportunity to steal a base here if you're Braintree, but I don't know. With 2 outs, I don't know if Braintree necessarily has the speed to get it done here. And the pitch, and that's in there for another strike. So now 2 strikes on McPhee, who has 3 hits from the 9 spot in the order, all singles. And I need another one. Pitch on the way, and a ground ball knocked foul. Braintree's got to be ready. Any miscues, they got to be ready to run with 2 outs. And the pitch, and that's high. A couple of times Braintree has not been necessarily running full steam ahead with 2 outs, and it may have cost them in the 7th inning to score that winning run. We'll see if Braintree can learn from that, as that's in there, a called 3rd strike on a pitch on the inner half of the plate, as McPhee darts out of the way, but takes the 3rd out of the inning. And Braintree does not score in the 8th, and we head to another extra inning as we head to the 9th. Top of the 9th inning and an 11-11 game here at Braintree High School. Again, thanks for watching our live stream broadcast here of varsity softball, Braintree and Milton, as the Wamps have come all the way back from down 8 runs to force extra innings, and we're here in the 9th. As the pitch is a called strike. Diode has been pitching since, I believe, the 4th inning, where she came in relief, and that's cut on and missed. Nice pitch off speed, fooled the hitter. And the pitch, and that one just spoiled off. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Milton here in the inning, and this has been their dangerous spot. At least the 3, 4 hitters have been. And the pitch, and no chase. So Diode trying to get the 1st out here of this 9th inning. And a ground ball middle of the infield, and another high hop and a bad bounce, and Braintree just can't not catch a break in this game on ground balls. That's the 2nd straight inning that a base runner has reached on a bad hop at short. A lot of hard hit balls in this game, and now it brings up Lynch, who has just been hitting the cover off the ball in this game. 4 hits, and another hard hit ball towards the outfield, and a big catch made by Littlewood, a tracking play, and another huge defensive play by the Braintree center fielder Littlewood, who makes a great running catch and takes away at least 2 bases from Lynch, if not 3. That would have potentially scored the go-ahead run. And Braintree now is trying to retire the pitcher Lynch for the first time. And the pitch, a ground ball hit towards 3rd base. The play is to 1st, and it's in time, and there's 2 outs, and finally able to get her. So they got the 3, 4 hitters, which Braintree had not really been able to do all game long, but they do it here. So now trying to get Boylan. The go-ahead run stands at 2nd base, but there are 2 outs. And the pitch on the way, and a pop-up. This is out of play, though. And this has been one of the longest softball games I can remember doing. There's been 22 runs scored, 11 by each side. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 9th with the runner at 2nd. Braintree and Milton tied at 11 here in the extra innings. And a ground ball hit to 3rd base, but foul. And now 2 strikes. Boylan has struck out once, has reached on an error, singled, popped up, and grounded out. Starting to get messy here in the box scores. 2 strikes, though, and 2 outs, and the pitch. And this one hit to 2nd base, and the play to 1st is going to be there in time and out at 1st base. Oh, safe! The base runner, or the foot must have come off the bag. The throw was certainly there in time, and I don't know how the base umpire could have seen that. It must have been the home plate umpire that must have ruled that call. And Braintree with what looked like the final out of the inning, and they could not get it. So now runners at the corners here with 2 outs. I'd really like to see a better look at that last play. Couldn't really see from our vantage point. We're set up in the outfield, so very tough to see, but that looked like the throw was there in time. The only thing I can imagine is that the foot was off the bag. That's the only thing I can think of. And the pitch is slapped off the screen. Braintree, who could not retire either of the Lynches in this game, the 3 and 4 hitters for Milton, get them both here in this inning, and it would really be devastating if the Wamps could not get out of this inning without allowing a run. And the pitch on the way, and this one slap foul, and now a couple strikes as Diudi's battled back from a 2-0 count. Again, a chance here, one more strike needed. And the pitch, and cut on and missed, and down she goes on a pitch upstairs. And Diudi able to get the final out, second time in a row that Giovannucci has struck out. And we head to the bottom of the 9th, Braintree again with a chance to win the game, tied at 11. Bottom of the 9th inning, Braintree with another opportunity here to win this game. And the first pitch is going to be ball 1, a little bit high. Starting to run out of room here on the score sheet as this one slapped out of play. So Braintree's leadoff hitter is the top of the order, and this one towards the third baseman on a weak little pop-up is the first out. So a pop-up to third base, and it brings up the one that is responsible for extending this game, Surratt, who hit the home run with 2 outs to send it to extra innings. And the pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Surratt, who has 3 hits in the game, including that home run. Trying to make something happen here in the bottom of the 9th. And the pitch, same spot, not getting the call this time. Pitch on the way, and this one grounded to third base and foul. 2 strikes now on the hitter. What a crazy game here at Braintree High School. A wild game at 11-11 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the pitch, and this one slashed out of play. Long game here today at Braintree High School with lots of runs, lots of mistakes, lots of hits. And the pitch, and a ground ball down the third baseline, a fair ball. As Surratt will get to first base. And Braintree has the winning run on. Now you got to be ready to run if you're Braintree. Are they going to get a pinch runner? Nope, no pinch runner, just trying to make sure they have the right number of outs in the inning. And the pitch on the way to Diudi, and the pitch is outside. Diudi with a hard hit single last time to the outfielder and right. We'll see what she can do here. And that pitch called the ball on another close pitch on the outer part of the plate. And the pitch, and a ground ball hit to first base as the tag is there. The throw will not be to second. And now Braintree with 2 outs. They will have McNamee up, and you have got to be ready on base here. If you're Braintree, a single has to score you here. You cannot not score here on a base hit. Base hit for Braintree maybe could win this game. With 2 outs, the winning run stands at second, and the pitch is cut on and missed. Again, McNamee has been an excellent hitter for Braintree here this season, looking to deliver the clutch hit. And that one down to the dirt, it gets to the backstop. And now, just a bag away is Braintree from winning this game. Got to be ready to go. 1 hit, 1 pass ball, Braintree maybe a chance to win it. And a ground ball back to the mound. The pitcher bobbles. Here's the throw to first. It's not in time. And the winning run scores. I believe, oh, they called the runner out? Looked like they were safe at first. And Braintree is retired. And this will send it to the 10th inning. What changes what would have been a walk-off hit and a bang-bang play as Braintree is retired to end the inning. Wow, that was really, really close. I thought for sure Braintree was safe at first base, but obviously from our vantage point, very, very difficult to see. But that looked like Braintree had beaten the throw, and we will head to the 10th inning. A very frustrating call there that goes probably against Braintree. I'd really have to see that replay to see it again, but that looked for certain that she beat that out, and we will head to the 10th in an 11-11 game. Top of the 10th inning, and the first pitch is outside for ball 1. I was almost 100% certain that Braintree had won the game, as the base runner I thought was safe at first, but the umpire thought differently, and the game extends here to the 10th inning, and a flaring hit and towards the outfield it goes, and it's caught in right field by McPhee. And Braintree with the first out here of the 10th inning, as the Wamps again trying to make a 0 on the board here and give themselves another opportunity to win the game. This game does not want to end. As the pitch on the way, this one again hit towards the outfield, and this time it's in foul territory. Pitch on the way with 1 strike, and this one hit towards the outfield. That's going to get down, and the base runner will reach here with 1 out. So again, Milton with the base runner on. Both sides have had opportunities to win this game in extra innings. As that's a called strike. And another strike. Runner at first with 1 out. 2 strikes on the hitter, as Dayuti really would love another strikeout. Winds and fires, and that one just knocked foul. Able to stretch those hands out and spank it foul. Dayuti ready to pitch. Winds and fires, and this one down in the dirt, and the base runner takes off and will get down to second base. Pitch on the way, and this one hit hard to the outfield, and that's going to get down, and all the way to the wall it goes. as the go-ahead run will score from second base. On the double here, and that was a pinch hitter too. So Braintree trails here in extra innings now, 12-11. As this one gets away, the base runner heads to third and will get there. So Braintree now trails by a run, and another runner at third base with one out. And the pitch, and that's down in the dirt. And the pitch, and that one knocked foul. So Braintree had multiple chances in this game to win the game in extra innings. Could not get it done. And now Milton has taken the lead here in the 10th. As that one's cut on and missed, and down on strikes goes the hitter. Big second out. Studerman has really struggled from the top of the order. There's 5 strikeouts in the game. Runner at third with 2 outs. And the pitch, a ground ball hit to third and bobbled, and it gets through. And another run is scored. And really has been the story here today for Braintree. Obviously a very tough ball to handle, but that is the 3rd time in the game that Mulaney has reached on a ball that has been mishandled. That one obviously hit real hard, but they call it the hot corner for the reason at third. That one glancing off the glove, and now Milton up by 2 runs, and they have a chance with one of their more dangerous hitters in the order to open up more, as that's in for a strike. And I really thought that Braintree had won the game in the 9th inning, the bottom of the 9th, on that ground out back to the mound. It was mishandled by the pitcher, and then the throw to first looked like it was going to be safe, but the umpire deciding no. And obviously without replay, really too hard to go back and think about, but I really that is really tough for Braintree to swallow on one that looked like could have won the game for them. And now Milton has a couple of hits here and 2 runs and 2 more on. They had their chance after getting them in the 8th inning and the 9th inning, but Braintree has now allowed 2 runs so far in the 10th, and Milton with an opportunity to blow this one to a 3-4 run lead with a big hit here from Lynch. As that's in for a strike. Does Braintree have some magic left is the question. They've come back from down 8 runs in this game, but now trailed by 2 in extras. As this one is hit hard to the outfield in left field, over and not able to make the catch, and that's a foul ball. 2nd time McPhee has not been able to make the play in the outfield. Long run over there in that direction, but one that McPhee, who doesn't generally play that position of the outfield, I believe, usually on the other side in left field, was not able to make the catch. And the at-bat continues, and Lynch, you do not want to give an extra strike to. As this one is hit to the outfield, and she makes Braintree pay here as this one up and off the fence. As a run will score, here comes a 2nd runner waving to the plate, and that will score as well. And that might just do it here as it makes it 15-11. Again, the Braintree mistake proving costly here in the inning. As a 4-run lead now, as Lynch delivers after Braintree couldn't make the catch in foul territory. A pitch later, a 2-run hit. And this is going to be a potential heartbreaking loss for the Wamps if they can't battle back from this 4-run deficit, as they've played so hard, especially late. Milton definitely controlled the first 5 innings of this game, but Braintree has been the better team since, and right now that's not mattered because the Wamps are on the wrong side now, down 4 here in extra innings, as that's in for a strike. And that's cut on and missed. Right-hander ready, and a ground ball, middle of the infield. It's the shortstop McPhee, the throw across, and it's gonna be in time, as the coach was hoping for a safe call. They're not gonna get it this time. And the umpire makes the call across the diamond. Same spot from last time, very close play. And this time it goes Braintree's way, but a big inning, 4 runs scored by Milton, and Braintree has their work cut out in the bottom of the 10th, down by 4. Bottom of the 10th inning, and the ball is low. That pitch is cut on and missed. As we play here in the bottom of the 10th inning, and our live stream broadcast is battery powered, and we're getting very close to running out of power on this game. So if this game continues much further, we may actually lose the live stream broadcast, but the rest of the game will be able to be seen on YouTube and on BCam as well. But right now, Braintree faces a 4-run deficit, down 15-11 here in the bottom of the 10th, in what has been a thrilling game. But Braintree right now on the wrong side of the scoreboard, as this one is hit hard towards the outfield. And it is caught in right field, nearly overrun, but it is caught in right for the first out. As this one is hammered out to left field, that's going to get over the left fielder's head, and unfortunately for Braintree, it bounces over the fence, and that'll be just a ground rule double instead of 3 bags. So Littlewood with a double here with 1 out. Really a big play made by the right fielder, although that was a pretty routine play on the opening out. It was actually almost overrun. The outfielder almost made a big mistake, but did make the catch, and now the inning has completely changed. Instead of Braintree with 2 on, they have just the 1 on with the 1 out. But right now the difference in this game has been Milton's defense has been better than Braintree's defense. That's been the difference in this game, in my opinion. As that one's cut on and missed. 15-11 the score. Obviously, you think about, well, the pitching probably hasn't been that good in a game that has this many runs. That's partially correct, but too many mistakes by Braintree here today by the fielders, and one made here in this 10th inning that allowed a couple more runs to be pushed across. As Curran bats here with just the 1 out. Pitch on the way, and that is a called strike, and that is strike 3, and now a second out of this game, of this inning. So Braintree has to have a hit here for this game to continue. As Littlewood stands at second base, and the pitch is upstairs. Braintree with a couple of opportunities in this game. Again, that one back in the 9th inning that I thought was safe on the base runner at first base, and then Braintree was not able to score a base runner on a ball that was hit back towards the fence, which I thought maybe they could have tried to stretch that. You get thrown out of the plate, you get thrown out of the plate, but Braintree has not tried to take that extra base. Milton's been very aggressive on the base paths, and it's paid off for him, other than the first 2 innings where they got caught. But ever since then, they have taken the extra bases, and it has really worked out in their favor. Maybe they have a little bit more speed than Braintree on the bases, but nonetheless, you want to win a close game. Sometimes you got to take those chances. Nonetheless, if you get thrown out the plate, can't really fault a coach in that decision. Has to be a perfect play in most cases, where the throw, the relay, everything has to be perfect. As there are 2 outs, the runner is at second. And Braintree down to the final strike, and now they have ended this game on a called 3rd strike, and Milton survives, nearly blowing one of the biggest leads I can remember seeing in a game, as they win this one in extras 15-11, as they led at one point 11-3, and Braintree came all the way back to tie the game in the 7th inning on a home run, but Braintree could not score any more runs in extra innings, and 4 runs in the 10th, the difference in this game. Again, Braintree with 6 errors in this game, and that really was the difference here today, as Milton gets the win to move to 6-3 in a game that Braintree obviously could have won towards the end, but a game that Milton had dominated for most of it, and unfortunately Braintree was on the wrong side of such a great come from behind game. But that will conclude our live stream broadcast. Thank you for watching here today, as this one ends in 10 innings. Braintree 15-11 loss here today to Milton. On behalf of our camera person Christine Patterson, I'm Mike Wassel. We'll see you next time.